Hello water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. We're going to read your tarot cards here today. This will be a collective message for the water signs. Please come into the reading with an open heart, an open mind, a desire to learn something, to better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, feel free to push them aside. They might not be your message this week. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's try and get you some helpful, insightful messages from the universe this week. Yeah, let's do it. And you may choose to revisit these messages at a later date. Sometimes tarot messages make more sense in the future. So again, just be open to that. Queen of Coins, that came out for the fire signs. We have Death in reverse. All right, let's see if that's meaningful in any way. And the Knight of Wands. Yeah, someone might be exiting a commitment or some sort of relationship. It could also be like a financial, contract, so to say, like a work contract, because they value themselves a lot. And it's not to say the situation or the job or the person was necessarily bad. It just didn't hold their attention. It didn't hold their interest. So I don't know. I don't see this person struggling to let something go. I see them just knowing in their heart that it's the correct answer. Yeah, there's something about they're trying to surround this person who I assume is probably a lot of my water sign energy coming through. They're more concerned with aligning to people who nurture them and support their ideas and wishes and dreams, because they do that for themselves. It's not that they're relying on other people for that validation. It's that they really respect themselves enough. And I see this person has lots of ideas blooming, right? There's lots of things blossoming for them on a personal level, but they seem to be in an environment that doesn't nurture and support that back. It's almost like, it's funny, I'm getting this idea of someone who has like this very lush garden, and then people come through and they just pick the flowers. And it's like ruining the aesthetic. It's ruining the beauty and sort of like something about like the collective. Like this is about the whole vision together, not just taking one of my ideas and running with it. It's like, it's a masterpiece. You can't take away from it and then only pick and choose the parts you like, because I think metaphorically, like this whole thing represents you. And I almost feel like some of you feel like you're giving pieces of yourself away to people who I don't know if they're necessarily doing it consciously on a selfish level, but it is taking from you. And I think you're having to draw a boundary or exit a situation that you know it's just not lighting your fire anymore. It's quite the opposite. Knight of Wands. It's not empowering. It's not thrilling. It's not inspiring to you. It's kind of draining and diminishes your energy and your value. So I actually see this as a very positive exit situation. I say this to you a lot, but I mean, with this, there's a kind of this newfound empowerment and realigning to your people, to your soul tribe, to the people who you want the people you want in your life versus the one that they're kind of, the excess. Maybe we can, trim the fat a little bit, because if they're not adding value and vice versa, you don't see value in what they're contributing, then What else do I need to tell my water signs about this? Seven of Cups, daydreaming, choices, fantasies, illusions, opportunities, procrastinations. Yeah, so I actually interpret that. I'll show you the bottom of the deck. I actually interpret that energy as other people chiming in on your own dreams and visions. And so obviously, again, there's balance to every message. I don't want you to go full steam ahead on something that isn't tangible and practical, going off this vision or this illusion of something or delusional, right? But if you're showing up as the Queen of Coins, whatever this vision you have, it's coming from a place of practicality. It's knowing that you could add value to that job or that workplace or that relationship or, fill in the blank. But I think you have other people around you, again, like cherry picking what they want to use from you and dismissing the rest. I get like this very strong sense of disrespect from people around you. So you may have to separate. Very Aries, Mars type energy. It's not necessarily Venus coming through here. Venus is about relating and socialization and pairing and coupling and partnering and, that exchange of warmth and good energy. Aries has that warmth and good energy, but it's more directed towards self, and we're in Aries season. So in a positive way, it's a good time to be selfish if you are building on your own life in a spiritual way, if you'll go there with me. Yeah, the Five of Cups. I think you've been disappointed by someone in your life lately. You may have gone through some major loss or bereavement or something like that, where it's actually sort of serving to align you to realizing what's important to you in your life. It's like you had to lose something to recognize the importance. And it's not necessarily like a person. Like, I don't predict death on my channel anyway. However, some of you may have gone through that in the past anyway. And whatever it is, it could just be an object, it could have been a job. Going through some form of loss and grief, it kind of puts you in this transformational state that maybe was put on hold or it was stagnant. It's like you were meant to transform and go elsewhere or meet new people, but I don't know, something was keeping you stuck. And by essentially you being relieved of this duty or this responsibility, even though you enjoyed it or you loved it, it's actually opening up your realm to discover other things. Yeah, I almost see this as you unintentionally not allowing yourself to explore and discover. You sort of need to channel a more risk taker energy right now. And I don't feel like I need to over-explain that because you're coming up as Queen of Coins. So with Queen of Coins, I mean, it can lean towards the side of conservative or, again, traditional, earthy energy, kind of slow, practical. But you've been doing that to a certain degree. So I don't know. I think now it's time to take this to the next level, and you can't do it in your current situation or your current environment. So you're having to move elsewhere. There's motion, there's action. This card says adrenaline. I don't know why I'm focused on that, but I am. Daring, wanderlust, sudden, rebel. I like that. It's like you kind of got to channel your little inner rebel right now. And I guess what I mean is I'm not going to over-explain it because I think you know how to do this in a way where it's not putting all your eggs in one basket. You know, you're preserving what you have that you want to keep, but you do have, I'm almost getting like this gap or this hole that you know what's going to go in there eventually. And I think a lot of you have realized a person isn't going to fill that gap for me. You know, I can't have this hole in my heart and just date someone to fill that void. It's like you have to go out and kind of fill that in yourself, you know, fill in that gap. And it does have to do with aligning to your dreams and chasing your passions. A lot of you, this does feel kind of career driven. Some of you need to invest more in yourself. Because, yeah, by investing so much time in other people and other people's ideas, it leaves you feeling drained. I see people using you for your ideas or I'm sorry about that glare. I just noticed that. I'm really terrible at that. Like, I can see the cards and then I forget to look at what the camera shows and you guys can't even see what I'm looking at. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try and be better about that. Although that's kind of funny because I think this was the card that was like blurred. It's like the Five of Cups. We have to get over that. Like we need to like mute it out sort of. Yes, we go through periods of loss and grief and difficulty, you know, lonely, sadness, whatever that is. But then it's about what we do with that energy. We can use it to sink deeper into our feelings or we can use it to motivate us, right? We can use that to be like, okay, nothing in life is perfect, but you know what? I'm going to be solution oriented and I'm going to build on this idea that, you know, I see it having huge transformational power in my life. But am I willing to take the risk to go after something I'm passionate about? Seven of Coins. I'm feeling two type of ways about this reading because for some of you, I think you're playing it too safe. And I'm always hesitant to be like, yeah, go full on in, right? Because I just said, yeah, putting all your eggs in one basket, that's not always the best decision. But here's the thing, like, you know your situation better than I don't mean that as a cop-out, but I see two different storylines where it's like, if you know with absolute certainty, this is my passion and I'm never going to be happy doing anything else, then you have no fucking like reason to not go in on this, right? It's not always going to be easy, right? There's going to be challenges. There's going to be obstacles that present themselves. But if you have that will, that zest, that drive, that tenacity, that rebellious risk-taking spirit, and, you know, Knight of Wands, very Sagittarian, optimistic, like I'll make the best of any situation. You have no reason not to go full on in on this, right? Death is transformative energy. And with scorpionic energy, there can be this kind of like extreme. And again, you have to decide if that's a practical method for you out there. But some of you, I just feel like you're at the point where I have nothing to lose. Because I've spent, you know, years of my life possibly giving to this source that it's just it's a tapped well. It's like I got nothing left to give you people. Like I just got to do me because that's the only thing I'm certain of. I see, and I guess the reason I mention that towing the line of going all in versus, moderation and balance. Typically, I'm someone who's always going to err on the side of caution, but that's just me, guys, right? That's not you. That's not, necessarily the storyline. But I see this assessment of, well, how much longer can I engage in this 10 of Wands? Whatever this 10 of Wands energy is, it's burdensome, struggles, duty, obligation, blah, blah, blah. Does this have to do with work, a romantic relationship, withstanding the criticism of your family? Some of you, that's sort of what I mean, is like there's this 7 of coins, like, oh, well, maybe if I wait it out, it will get better. Or maybe if I guess my question is this: whatever this 10 of Wands is this a source that brings you great joy and passion? If your answer is, well, yeah, most of the time, but there's challenges and obstacles, welcome to life. Keep going, right? If this is something that makes you happy, this assessment card could be saying, yeah, it's going to take a lot of effing work, but if you love it and you're passionate about it and you see value in it and this adds value to your life, absolutely, keep going down this path. However, if this is forcing you to sacrifice your passion, right? And yes, there's always going to be areas in life where we have to be, responsible. We have to get the job to pay the rent. We have to take care of the kids. We have to, right? Obviously, there's a laundry list of things we just kind of have to do it because that's life. However, if this is something that you have a choice to participate in, and I want to be clear, you've been doing it for quite some time, 10 of Wands, like trying to climb the corporate ladder, even though, you want to be a belly dancer, right? Like if these two are not related, this is just to make ends meet. You might be very happy being like, done, throwing in the towel because it's putting my long-term goals and passions, on the back burner. And like, at what point am I ever going to take them off the back burner and make them my focus? In this scenario, never, because you always have your hands full. So I hope you guys understand, like there's kind of like this twofold message. Like, do you believe in what it is that you're putting your energy and effort into? If the answer is yes, then I think it's saying, prepare yourself for things that will challenge you emotionally, but in the long term, I think it's really helping you to believe in yourself. That, hey, look at everything I've overcome. 7 of Coins isn't a bad card. It's a card of assessment. Can we go back to the drawing board and reconfigure it a little bit? Can we tweak it? Can we change it up? Sometimes it's just simply a card if you're trying to rush the process, right? Aries season can be very impatient and temperamental and very impulsive. Like, I just want it now. This card may be saying, yes, you're going to have it with this kind of mindset of Queen of Coins, but it's not going to happen overnight. You have to sow the seeds, harvest, patience, reward, perseverance. I think that's really important here. But this perseverance, make sure you're applying it to something that you do see light at the end of the tunnel. It isn't going to be this all or nothing for everyone out there watching, but I do think some of you are really being asked to cut the cord of pouring your energy into something that it's not even the main goal. It almost became this, like a leapfrog. Like I'm taking steps. So, every leap I take, it's helping me, but it's almost like you got stuck on a leaf, in this cheesy metaphor I'm giving you. It's almost like that thing that was just sort of a mode of transportation to get you to the next level of the next step of your career. It almost became quicksand and you somehow fell into the pitfalls of it and you couldn't escape. It's like we've been in this almost survival mode for too long, and it's not even something that we want to participate in. And I guess, this is a very tricky message for me because I don't want to disregard the fact that sometimes we have no choice. Sometimes we do have to practice endurance and perseverance and stick things out when they get tough because that's just life. But for some of you, I just sense that there's a choice to eradicate yourself from a situation that was causing you nothing but depression or just became like one burden after another. For some of you, you may have even moved into a home that was just a money pit. Like you may have felt like, I don't know, I must have died like you got swindled. Like you moved into this place, but come to find out, this doesn't work and that doesn't work. And so you're pouring your money into this, but like this was like an in-betweener house too. It's like this wasn't even the main goal. And yet you're putting all this money and investment into it, but you don't even really want to live there that much longer. So that's sort of what I mean. There might be this all or nothing, like, maybe that's not the right word, but cutting your losses. I would say that's a very important step here with 5 of Cups. Some of you may feel very uncomfortable with the amount of money you put into something that again, it's like it just didn't work out the way you had envisioned. But make no mistake, though, with this loss or this sacrifice, it's aligning you to where you're meant to be. So I feel like a lot of my water signs are going through this major stage of transformation, and it's trying to get you to kind of get back that fiery passion of who and what you love about yourself, and expressing that, offering that out into the world. Maybe this is romantic, maybe it's career energy, right? There may have been an ending with a fire sign or some sort of very physical labor, like a very physically taxing job, possibly something creative or something that it required a lot of stamina and energy from you. You may feel like it's putting your body at risk, or you just don't have the stamina to keep up with that anymore because you're just simply in a different phase of life. And I think part of you is struggling to let that go. But in the long term, I think you're going to see that it was actually dragging you down. It was slowing you down. This is about knowing when to cut your losses, knowing when to cut the cord of something that it's just not contributing to your life positively. Man, that took me a long time to get to. Yeah. Bottom of the deck, Chariot. Cancers. Cancers and Scorpios are showing up quite strongly in this. Not to say Pisces isn't, but double down if you have strong Cancer or Scorpio in your chart. Chariot is about forward movement. It is channeling a little bit more of a masculine energy. We're not getting too caught up in messy emotions. It's kind of making this firm decision of, well, I could stay here, but it's probably going to drain my finances. So you know what? I'm going to have faith. I'm going to have optimism that if I keep traveling down this path, new avenues, new doors will present themselves. It is about forward movement. This is not about being nostalgic or sentimental or looking back. This is about forward movement, futuristic thinking, but also, again, living in the now. Queen of Coins, being very practical and being honest with yourself. Where are you at and what are you able to do at this point? Some of you just can't do it anymore. And it's okay to admit that. I think it's very healthy to admit that. And some of you, I think there's shame or guilt in feeling like there was a misstep, or you misspoke, or you said you were going to do something and couldn't do it. Again, you can grieve the loss of that till you're blue in the face, but then ultimately it's about standing strong and getting your confidence back and being like, but I'm not tapped out on life. I still got some zest in me, right? I got this energy and forward momentum, right? Look at these cards. It's like, what am I going to do with this energy now? It's interesting that they're going in different directions, very much symbolic of this reading. It's like you might feel like you're stuck between like a rock and a hard place, or your brain wants this but your heart is telling you otherwise, or your bank account says you need this job but your heart is like, but I'm so burnt out I can't do this anymore. You are very much at a crossroads, at like a fork in the road, and I mean, only you know what is best for you, but I would really encourage you to move away from disappointments of the past and starting fresh. Aries is the beginning of the zodiacal year, so if you're at all in touch with astrology and the universe and that kind of stuff, tarot, this is your fresh start. Every single one of you out there watching, right? So what are we going to do with it? How are we going to make good on this next chapter? The Chariot card: victory, success, willpower, control, forward movement, force, and ambition. This is not a good time to give up on your ambitions either. This to me seems like a source of what's draining you, not something that's lighting your fire. I think that's why the Knight of Wands and the Death card are in reverse. It's like we have to make some major change that gets us to feel alive again. Because I think for a lot of you, that's what was missing. Either you were playing it too safe, or for some of you, it was like money has been a very big struggle for you and is dictating your ability to enjoy life. Money may always be a challenge in a sense, right? I mean, I think I've read recently that's like the number one cause of depression in across most people, right? It's worries and stresses about money and fear and jobs. So that isn't just going to magically go away, but I do think it's about taking accountability for, how much you got or what you want to do and finding a way out, being solution oriented. This to me is a card of just sinking into the abyss, very much just like in my feelings, no way out, loss, depression, sadness, all these things. And I'm not at all trying to offend or insult, but if some of you have been feeling this way about money or love or anything, your time is up. You've had the process to grieve this. Now you got to pick yourself up and again, be very Knight of Wands. Like, yes, things are tricky, things are stuck, things are difficult, but not for much longer, because I'm going to do something about it. This is very much solution-oriented Aries energy, trailblazing. Scorpio energy, the idea of transformation and letting things burn away if they're not meant to be in your life. I see you lighting fire to something that has been just nothing but anarchy and disappointment in life, and just kind of metaphorically, of course, like setting it ablaze. Like, I don't need that anymore. I'm starting fresh. I'm starting new. For some of you, this may involve travel with Knight of Wands and the Chariot. That's very possible. All right, let's get you some this deck is cool. I just got it. You got this. 100 inspiring quotes. It's perfect for my channel. And I just like the cards. I think they're pretty. All right, let's get my water signs some keywords. It's funny. There's a lot of fire energy coming through here with the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Wands. So, yeah, I don't know. For some of you, it's like channel that inner fire. Or what houses are ruled by fire? Are you a fire sign rising? Is it your career? Is it your relationship houses? Look at where fire rests in your chart, because that's going to be a key area for you. Connecting with fire signs, or doing things that are more active and what's a good word for it? Adventurous, fun, outgoing, risk-taking. If you lack fire in your chart, you need to make up for it in some way, because otherwise, again, it's like we got so much water, we don't know what to do with it. Where do we put it? We have to kind of burn away what isn't necessary anymore. Your potential is endless. Endless. I'm doing the thing again where you can't see the cards. Down. All right, cool. Let's get a couple more for water. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. That came out when I said Scorpio. You are capable of anything. I have lots of talents. Right? Aren't these high vibe? Doesn't it feel good to hear those? I like these cards. All right. Oh, okay. We'll give you these. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. I'm going to put that next to my little Queen of Coins here. I really like that. Today can be the beginning of anything you want. Again, fresh starts, new beginnings. We talked about that. Love it. And you are amazing, water signs. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me here today on my channel. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if any of this resonates for you. And I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.